In this video by Invent ERP team, we will learn more about cash statement. How does a cash flow statement work? How are the cash balance and cash flow connected? What do terms like cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, and cash flow from financing activities mean? All of these concepts are clearly explained in this video by the Invent ERP team. The cash flow statement is one of the three primary financial statements. It details how much cash has flowed in and out over a year and identifies the sources and uses of that cash. Essentially, the cash flow statement explains how the cash balance, one of the most vital assets, has changed between two balance sheet periods. Think of the cash balance like the water level in a bathtub at a specific moment. Cash flow is the water coming in through the tap minus what drains out over time. If you check the water level at 9 p.m. and again at 9:05 p.m., those are two balances. If the water rises, that's a net cash inflow. If it drops, that's a net cash outflow. Cash balance. Cash flow. Keep the bathtub metaphor in mind when thinking about cash balance and cash flow. Cash is king, right? It's vital at every stage of a company's journey. You need cash to start a business, to grow, and to expand. If a company runs out of cash to cover its bills, it's game over. Here's an example of a cash flow statement, specifically from Shell's fourth quarter 2016 earnings report. Just a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as investment advice. Shell's cash balance was $18.6 billion at the end of 2012 and dropped to $9.7 billion by the end of 2013, reflecting a negative cash flow of $8.9 billion. In 2014, the balance rose to $21.6 billion, showing a positive cash flow of $11.9 billion. By the end of 2015, it climbed to $31.8 billion with a $10.2 billion cash inflow. However, in 2016, the balance fell to $19.1 billion due to a net cash outflow of $12.7 billion. While these totals give a snapshot, they don't reveal the full story of the company's operations. To understand the details, we need to look deeper into the cash flow statement, which is divided into three key sections: operating, investing, and financing. Many companies label the first section as cash from operating activities, CFOA, or something similar. This section mainly covers cash inflows from customer payments, minus cash outflows for supplier purchases, employee salaries, NLES, and taxes paid to governments. For most stable, mature companies, cash from operating activities usually shows a net cash inflow. The second section, often called cash from investing activities, records cash outflows for capital expenditures and acquisitions, and cash inflows from divestments. This section typically results in a net cash outflow for most companies. The third section, known as cash from financing activities, can show either a net inflow or a net outflow. If a company needs funding and takes on new debt, it results in a cash inflow. However, if the company has excess cash and no plans to reinvest it, it may pay dividends to shareholders, creating a cash outflow. Let's break down Shell's operating, investing, and financing activities. From 2010 to 2014, Shell reported strong cash flow insights. In 2014, Shell generated a significant $45 billion from operating activities. What did Shell do with this cash? It returned value to shareholders by paying dividends and buying back shares, totaling $13 billion in 2014. Additionally, it made substantial capital expenditures, CapEx, peaking at $40 billion in 2013. By balancing its cash inflows from operations with outflows for dividends, share buybacks, and CapEx, Shell managed to keep its balance sheet healthy. However, the oil industry has seen major shifts. For Shell, every $10 change in oil prices affects its cash flow by about as $3 to $3.5 billion as shown in this graph. Oil prices have sharply fallen from an average of $100 per barrel in 2014. How did Shell perform in terms of cash balance and cash flow in 2016? Shell began 2016 with $31.8 billion in cash and ended the year with $19.1 billion. This reflects a net cash outflow of $12.7 billion, as cash used on the right of the graph outweighed cash generated on the left. The prolonged low oil prices caused Shell's operating cash inflow to hit its lowest level in years. However, the reduced capital expenditures, CapEx, helped partially offset this decline. Understanding cash flow is essential for seeing the full picture of a company's financial health. We hope this explanation and example of a cash flow statement were helpful. Thank you for watching. See you in our next educational video. Don't forget to subscribe for more.